sound of footsteps in the dark, to voices that may not be quite human, to the sound of screams in the night. The Haunted Cabaret, the home of all things horror, on Rhode-IslandFreeRadio.org, with your host, George Garner. The Haunted Cabaret starts now.
All right. This is Black Sabbath, Fairies Wear Boots, from a long, long time ago. I don't even think that's classic rock anymore. I think that's fossil rock, antique rock, something like that. But anyway, still a good track. I'm George Garner. This is The Haunted Cabaret. And this week, we have guests. The band is called Lines and Lust. And they used to be called a bunch of other things, all having to do with necrophilia and all of the things dear to my heart. So, all right, so why don't you introduce yourselves?
Okay. I'm Kate. I'm the lead singer.
And I'm Andrew. I'm the guitarist.
Okay, and who does the lines and who's got the lust?
Obviously, I have the lust. And the lines.
Thank you.
Obviously. Okay, now... Lines and Lust. So, what would I ask anybody in a band? You know that like, what's going on in your heads? Why do something really stupid like being an original band in Rhode Island, in New England? Like, why bother doing this? Like,
because it's what I love to do.
Yeah, it's a passion. It's a
good
passion project.
Good answer. A cliched answer, but a good answer. Because
the only answer you can have.
Well, no, I've heard a lot of really stupid answers. I've heard a lot of stupid effing answers to that question. For example, make money.
Yeah, that won't happen.
I mean, I was actually told that.
Expend money is a more reasonable answer.
Yeah, it's kind of like you can do if you want to just waste money. If you just want to piss money and piss the times of your life,
light it on fire and throw
sewer.
it out this window.
Yeah,
seriously.
We'll kick you in the balls right now, throw you out the window. I mean, that will. Then you can just stop right there. That'll duplicate the experience of live music in Rhode Island.
Right.
Right. See, Tony and I, we know this well. We are veterans of the circuit. We have gone through the trials, tribulations. Tony, am I leaving anything out?
If you get to a
Is
certain,
there any,
if you get to a certain age, it's not kicking you in the balls; it's kicking you in the hemorrhoids.
Well, the only way to avoid being kicked in the hemorrhoids is to stay, as I do, to stay mentally immature.
You are the world's oldest living teenager.
Yes, I am. Although I have to say, though, that now that I've taken a slight stab at respectability, I would say that
You went legit.
I don't know if I would say that. I mean, but I will say that I think I might have, in the last couple of years, moved from teenager all the way to my college years.
It's Animal House.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Right about now, I'm ready to enroll in CCRI and, chase the single mothers. Tony, that was a nice tip for anybody looking to get laid in this state. I'll tell you, I never...
Especially, it's going to be free soon, so, I mean, you don't even have to spend any money to meet the single mothers.
I'm so glad I went to college and paid for it all for so long.
Yeah, every time I make a payment on my student loan, right. I just want to take Governor Raimondo and shove the statement right up her friggin' ass. like I really do.
I'd pay to see that.
I would pay to see...
I think we might have a possible video podcast on our hands.
Yeah, I think we're on to something here.
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure if I want to see Gina Raimondo without pants, though, because... Yeah, I mean, there are some things in this world. Now, this is the Haunted Cabaret. This is the home of all things horror.
That's pretty horrible.
We have our limits. As H.P. Lovecraft once said, there are things that are unthinkable, unspeakable, and unknowable. Mm. Is Gina Raimondo a woman?
Allegedly.
That's unknowable, right? Because I have my doubts. I really doubt. I mean, that could be a cyborg. That could be an android. That could be a man. That could be someone that she doesn't have a friggin' clue what she is.
It's a song right there.
I spin off song topics. Like,
are you writing this down, Kate?
But anyway, yeah, so college. Yes, I think I'm prepared to enroll in college and chase those single mothers at CCRI. Tony, how many women tried to pick you up? Because Tony Jones took a couple of classes.
As soon as they found out I had a job,
yeah, Tony, he pulled up in his car, right?
There it is, yep. Car, number one.
College education, job.
Yeah, and
in Rhode Island terms, PIMP.
Now, you didn't make the mistake of telling anybody that at the time you were working at Electric Boat, right?
Oh, no. Then they would have killed me.
I mean, they would have
life insurance.
They would have been like pulling your zipper down right in the parking lot.
They would have been proposing to me.
Yeah, I mean, they would have been mobbing you right at the desk in that classroom. I mean, yeah, because, not only a job, but a good job. But, yeah, and didn't you find one trying to sneak in the trunk one day, or was that just rumor?
If that did happen, I don't recall, and I'm not just saying that for our legal department. That's the truth.
But anyway, so that's one of the key things that you guys will find out is to maintain yourselves in a band, mental immaturity.
Oh, I'm good with that.
All right,
I actually got my college degree in mental immaturity, so I mean,
I dropped out of college 3 times. You know that?
Because of your mental immaturity.
Yeah, exactly. But the first time I dropped out was because of my mental immaturity, and I couldn't score the girl I wanted to score, so I left. Then I said to myself, then I went back because I said, "There's something wrong in this country because." Isn't it like a pervasive mental brainwashing in this country that you have to go to college? You're supposed to go to college. You'll shit on the sidewalk if you pick up a shovel or, a mop or a cloth. And, in other words, if you do anything but become a lawyer, right, or, I don't know, there's only 3 things respectable in this country, right? Lawyers, drug dealers.
And drug dealers that deal drugs to lawyers.
To lawyers, right. Right, and if you want to be any of the above, you need a college education. Unless you join a cartel in Mexico and then come over the border, then you're good to go. You don't need college.
That was my first plan, actually, before college.
Right, to go down there, then come back here. That's not a bad idea. And let me tell you, folks, if I'm not going to be the one that discourages you from dealing narcotics. I'm really not. I mean, I'm not saying do it.
We'll encourage it.
But if you're going to do it, my address is...
We're here at 65 Manchester Street.
No, I mean, our president, trust me, folks, there's not going to be a big, gigantic stone wall down there. It's not going to happen. So, any of you, smuggle... If you're smuggling anything, probably smuggling some of those single mothers up from... from Mexico up to Tony Jones's car.
Once again, we're at 65 Manchester Street.
Okay, for the moment, let's go back to the music. Then we're going to come back and talk to Lions and Lust about their music. Let's Goat Whore. Goat Whore is on the playlist, Tony. Yeah, When Steel and Bone Meet here on the Haunted Cabaret on Rhode Island Free Radio.
The time to stop this war will be won. shall be the domain for the followers of the crucified one. Instead of victory in the hearts with dead bodies at our feet, superior forms of bloodshed lead the way for this deceit. The final word of defiance, a battle to the death, raise the flag of the tower. Rain of inferno upon the skies, feasting on blood from the divine, tearing flesh with razor teeth, with stealing the rage. This war on God is just begun. Conquest of freedom will be won. Never power ends in defeat. With stealing the rage.
All right, that was Goat Whore, and I have just figured out. Well, I didn't figure out. It didn't take any great mental effort because she told me that. Yeah, I have a fellow Goat Whore fanatic sitting right at this very table.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you met him? Have you met him?
No, I haven't.
I did.
Oh.
No, the only what we mentioned during the music was Goat Whore is one of those names. The name alone is going to break them through.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Now it's taken a while because I don't know. It's as a matter. I'm not sure if I would call. It's not death metal per se, though, right? It's not death. As a matter of fact, when I went to see them at the Palladium, they made a couple of stage remarks that they're trying to figure out how to market their music. You know, this song is, whatever you want to call it, because I guess they've settled on blackened death metal, which is, that's, it's, no, that isn't going to do it.
It's too much.
It's too much. Me personally, next time I run into them personally, my suggestion is just going to be black death metal. 3 words.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
you call it BDM.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So I've solved their problem. I just have to run into them again to let them know that I did.
Just go give him a call.
Yeah.
Again,
Now,
we're at 65 Manchester Street.
in the meantime, why don't you tell me a little bit about your music? Because just to be upfront, now I haven't listened to anything you've done yet. Now, I do this on purpose because whenever I have a musical guest or a written word guest, I make a point of not listening or not reading ahead of time. Because what if they suck? Right? Now I have these people booked in, and I have to talk to people that I know suck.
Plus, if we commission you to write a review and you think they suck, now you've written a review that they suck and they're here in front of you. I mean, that's just a good way to get your ass whooped all up and down West Warwick.
Right.
Very true.
Right. Now, my Trump-like ego doesn't give a damn if I sit across from people I think suck that don't like me. But it doesn't make for constructive radio conversation. It really doesn't. I mean, the last time I came close to that, Tony, was when I used to work at our, I don't want to say rival. They're not much of a rival, but our sister internet radio company, B.O.B., and Pal, he's a cool guy. He taught me a lot about this business. But he booked, without asking me one time, onto my show these, I don't know, what would teenage, like...
Yeah, pop punk, almost more,
yeah,
like Disney Channel, Disney Radio.
Miley's, like if Miley Cyrus was doing pop punk.
Right, yeah.
That's what he booked on my show. Mm-hmm. It was in his best interest because he was going to get good ratings for doing it. And so, now, kidding aside, I don't like to say anything like, just trash anybody. I really don't. Unless your name is Gene Simmons and you're trying to copyright the Bones, I will verbally trash. Anything less than that, I try to find something nice to say. Like, for example, on that pop punk group, I managed to say, okay, the recording, I'm saying, you guys seem like you're, determined, you know what you're doing, you're trying for it, good for you. But anyway, so having said all that, that means I haven't heard your music. So you're going to have to just tell me and tell our thousands upon thousands of loyal listeners why they should listen to you. As soon as we're done with this interview, why I should run out and get your music, and why they should download and listen. What are you guys into?
Well, we don't have quite a distinct sound yet.
Oh, this is bad already.
Yeah, right? We're more geared towards punk than anything, I'd say, but we're kind of dipping our fingers into
Well,
a few
dipping
different
dipping
things.
into things is good. When you say punk, though, now Tony and I have come up with this. When people ask us, what do we play? And we say punk. We have in mind, like, the Ramones when we say punk. Somebody that's, like, 20 years old is going to have in mind
Green Day.
Green Day. Yeah, good example. Yeah. So, punk is now, it's not the explanation that it used to be.
Right.
Yeah, so, I mean, you guys, like, more old school influenced, this new thing.
It's definitely got more of an old school vibe to it. It's fast, it's loud, and it's short and sweet. It doesn't try to overcomplicate itself. It doesn't try to do too much. I mean, there's 5 of us, and we really don't want to battle each other. We like to complement each other. And I think we're trying to find that balance right now. But if we had to pinpoint it, it would be more of an old school punk rock vibe.
Okay. So, I will listen to it after all. I will check it out. Now, Wines and Lust, subject matter, because I know when I write, when I work with Tony, I mean the subjects boil down to either monsters, pussy, or passing out drunk on the bathroom floor.
Mental immaturity.
What's that?
Mental immaturity.
Well, yes, the graphic results of mental immaturity on both our parts. So we don't have a wide range of subject matter that we deal with. We just deal with it again and again, and try to say it better next time. Subject matter. Now, you mentioned Goat Horde. Does that mean we're going to hear about?
No.
Yeah. Does that mean we're going to hear about Satan? Does that mean we're going to hear about? Well, actually, Satan.
When I write, I kind of just go from personal experience. It's what brings out my most emotions, I guess you could say.
Okay, so in
Kind
other
of
words,
cliche on that part, but it's true.
okay, so that means you're the lust of the band name, and what you write is based on your personal experiences.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, all right, check this out. Buy the album, download it, download the music. You're going to hear an entire CD, an entire album about screwing. Yes?
No. I mean, I've written a lot about just past relationships and, I don't know, kind of my ups and downs in life. And
People that
stuff
you've
like
killed.
Yeah, exactly. Where I bury 'em,
boyfriends
things
you've
like
killed.
that.
All right, okay, we're getting some interest here. We're getting some interest. See, if you notice, it's the Haunted Cabaret, the home of all things horror. I'll stretch it, but I will always make that effort to twist it around
That's okay.
to something within my immature sphere of interest.
Yeah.
And I'm perfectly okay.
And our listeners' immature sphere of interest. Believe me. Don't worry. We're all in this together.
It's not enough that we're geezer teens. It's the fact that there are thousands and thousands of geezer teens around the world.
Geezer Teen. Now,
That's a good band name, too.
That's a great band name.
I'll tell you, we do this every now and then, especially when Chuckles the Clown's at the table. Right, Tony? Every now and then, we'll start throwing ideas back and forth, and we actually have to stop because we know that people are listening. We know that, we have to copyright a lot of this crap, before we let it get out there
Right.
and let other people take our, hard-earned money away from us. Well, not hard-earned. We don't do anything to earn our money, but we seem to make some of it. I don't know, Tony, I think we're a lot more successful than we deserve to be.
I agree with that. Every morning when I shave and look in the mirror, I think that exact same thing.
It's like Stuart Smalley talking to himself in the mirror.
Yeah, it's like, what did we do to deserve this? All right, you know what? Despite Tony Jones saying that Kiss sucks, because I'm the only person and proud of it in this room who is a Kiss fan, Tony, because he indulges me and because I'm a great talent he doesn't want to lose.
The sign of a true professional.
The sign of a true...
I know how to take care of my main eventers.
And this week, he is taking care of this main eventer with a little the title track, as a matter of fact, from Kiss, Creatures of the Night, here on the Haunted Cabaret on Rhode Island Free Radio. All right, that was little Kiss, Creatures of the Night. In my opinion, well, that must have been a little... Tony, you're gagging on that skunk beer over there again? Yeah. First album with Eric Carr on the drums. Good stuff as far as I'm concerned. Not so good when the guy in the band's trying to copyright the Bones. I mean, I'll tell you, and with all due respect, I've always liked Kiss for the music. I always thought the show was kind of carnival and lame. I always thought that, well, let's just put it this way. They make it really hard for you to like them. and this is, I thought that they reached the limit with that football team.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal.
Yeah, remember they tried to launch a reality show based on Kiss buying a football team, and what was it, touch football or lick football or some kind of thing. And if you blinked, you missed it. What was on? It was on like one of those cable channels. What
I think I
AMC
remember
maybe?
seeing
It was
that
on the
too.
deep, the
If
deep
you
channel.
then you have a good memory because I think it was there and gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
It was
there
next to reruns of Roseanne and Archie Bunker. Like it was on the deep channels.
basically. And guess who I would rather watch? I'll tell you, I still will catch reruns of Archie Bunker. No question about it. Especially him and George Jefferson. I mean, never mind Black Lives Matter. If you want an honest discussion of the racial question in this country, actually kidding aside, I mean, watch All in the Family.
Go
and
to
listen-
TV Land.
Yeah, and listen to those back and forths between Archie Bunker and George Jefferson. I mean, that's the most honest discussion of race relations
Yeah.
you're going to get.
They were highlighting issues even shows now are afraid to touch.
Oh, you kidding? They will never, ever.
No.
No. They'd get sued. They'd be shut down for even mentioning the subjects
Right.
that they talked about on that show. But anyway, have we actually even talked about your band yet?
Slightly.
Touched on
we,
it, yeah.
we started.
Okay, let me, before I do anything else and we wander away again. Now, you're playing, give us your playing where and when and where we can check you out online, the necessary stuff before we go off on another side trip.
Okay. We're playing at Alchemy on Thursday with Tony Jones and Wolfman Chuck. And then
Shore City.
Shore City.
Tony Jones is sitting this one out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're not,
Just kidding.
our radio,
My
yeah,
bad.
Rhode Island Free Radio's producing the show.
Right,
The
okay.
Creed 3 are not playing because I can't play that night because I have to go to work.
Because he went legit.
Oh, okay.
There's a toga party.
I am attending college.
What about a Rhode Island Free Radio toga party?
That's not bad. You know, we should do something. It's been 6 months because the last time we had festivities dedicated to me, which I think there should be more of, we had the my bachelor show, right, which was a one-time event, still remarked. that-
Hopefully.
Well, I'm not going to get divorced and married again just so we can have another bachelor show. I mean, as much fun as it was, although I don't know, it's tempting. But I don't know. 6 months in, what excuse could we have to? I don't know. Maybe there was that
Halfway
old,
to Halloween? Or are we past that?
no, but I want it to be in honor of me. You know, I want Well, it can be Halloween too. That's important.
It is important.
It is. No, I'm not saying it isn't. You know, like paying respects to Satan is always important. But, well, we missed Valpurgis night. Right? That was May Eve. We missed that. I don't know, but we're going to put some thought into this. I mean, I don't know. I need some excuse to be the center of attention again
All right.
before Halloween.
Hey, you should have your own radio show. Oh, wait.
I am not satisfied with that anymore. I used to be. I mean, I used to be sad. So I think it's maybe the insidious influence of Donald Trump on this country. Like a lot of people blame him for everything else. But I think Donald Trump has just focused on narcissism. You know, egotism and narcissism as the path to happiness. I mean, before he was elected, I was satisfied being in a band with songs on the charts. I was satisfied with my music being used as a soundtrack in a theatrical production. Which, by the way, Tony, there should be
Which R.J. Gregory has actually watched.
I own the DVD.
There's a DVD of that play. Come over here. We are bringing over our drummer and drummer of Lines and Lust, who was going to talk in the second half, but he's going to talk right now. Tell me about this. There is a DVD released of the soundtrack of American Stripper, the theatrical production of which we participate in.
American Stripper?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I was thinking of Dr.
We
Frankenstein.
were thinking
yeah.
of Dr. Frankenstein. We were in the...
No. That's our music on the movie soundtrack of
see,
that.
Tony, you got us all screwed up.
No, talk about that though, because that's ego stroking too.
Well, when Dr. Frankenstein's... it's such a long title, but...
Yeah, that's a go. Reel it out there.
They had the DVD release
Right,
of the movie.
No, see, Dr. Frankenstein's Castle of Blood-Sucking, Drinking, what was it?
It was
Wax.
like it was
Yeah,
big.
it's a
It was
long
like
title.
Wax, Dr. Wax, but Believe it or not, for a low budget horror film, the storyline was actually good.
All right.
Took place at the Nightmare Gallery in Salem, Mass, which was really cool.
Okay.
I frequent that place, but at the end was the best part because Tony Jones and the Cretin 3, Lady Frankenstein.
We were on the soundtrack,
Yeah,
right?
we were. Yeah, they didn't release the soundtrack, which sucked, but we were on the movie, and they released the DVD of it, and
actually
sold quite a few copies. Not even kidding you. Yeah, they did.
Now,
pretty good.
in true Rhode Island form, they asked me to have a small role in that movie, but I was too lazy to drive up to Salem to film it. Salem?
Which was awesome because they were in, not to get off subject, but they were in Salem, but then they go out the back door of the Nightmare Gallery, but then all of a sudden they're in Water Place Park.
It's funny
How do you do
works
that?
through the
Teleporting.
magic of television.
Yes.
But
Yeah, and actually, Tony was so late. You sent them a song that we had recorded like years before.
Oh, they had specifically asked.
Oh, they did ask for that
They
track.
said, "Do you have a song about Frankenstein?" And I said, "Well, we kind of do."
kind of, yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
And that was that was when we recorded in the basement of that guy's house.
Right? Yeah.
Yep. That's how far back it was. Yeah.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, there were a few reviews of that movie saying that song was the the only good part of it. But
And they sold quite a few copies to the point where they almost made Blu-ray copies of it because I originally put in for a Blu-ray copy and they didn't sell quite. I guess it
they
sold-
didn't go over that mark.
Did they have-
they
did
got
they-
close, but I mean they sold quite a few of them.
Did they have any laser discs?
I kind of wish they did. I still have my Laserdisc player.
Really?
I'm waiting for the comeback.
I know those laserdiscs were pretty cool looking though. They look like flying saucers.
And they look like they're indestructible. Like when the apocalypse hits and there's no entertainment, we're all going to flock to RJ's house and we'll have the indestructible laser discs to watch.
Well, we can use them for shields against the radiation. Strap them to our right arm like Roman shields.
Laser disc over your crotch so you don't get testicular cancer.
And then we can have an apocalyptic performance by Tony Jones and the Cretin 3 and Lines and Lust. There you go.
Works for me. Okay. But yeah, well, actually, what'll probably happen is we'll be using those shields to ward off the peeps. True story. They did some scientific experiments back in. It was the military funding the experiments because they wanted to see what substances could best live through or survive intact through a nuclear blast.
My liver.
Not Twinkies?
Twinkies came in. They did all right. Twinkies did all right. But now they set off a nuclear bomb and I'll tell you, my dad, we go off on these tangents. My dad was in the Navy years ago, and he was on leave on the West Coast, and he was hanging around at the docks. He just got off his ship, when they towed in the aircraft carrier that they exploded the nuclear bomb to see what would happen.
Oh, wow.
And he said that you remember some of us will remember what I'm talking about. In other words, the military used to explode nuclear bombs back in like the 40s and 50s.
Hence the hills have eyes.
Right. And exactly.
Hence
That's-
West Warwick, Rhode Island.
Actually, West Warwick, Rhode Island, you wouldn't be able to tell if the bomb exploded here
Did you
or not.
see any Hills Have Eyes cast of characters when you were coming down here?
I mean, are we allowed to comment on that? I don't want to upset the neighbors.
But yeah, exactly. The hills have eyes. The military used to explode nuclear bombs in the middle of different things. Like they'd build a village, put a bunch of mannequins in it, explode the bomb to see what would happen. Well, what the hell else you think is going to happen?
Incredible Hulk.
Right. But one time they assembled, and this is where our tax money goes. Just, a little political sidelight for Tony Jones there. They assembled a whole fleet of Navy ships and decided to drop a nuclear bomb right in the middle of them. So then what my dad saw was, and this is another work of military genius, they towed in the highly radioactive aircraft carrier that had just been at ground zero and docked it in San Francisco Harbor.
How's everybody feeling?
Why is my hair falling out?
And I'll tell you, my dad came down with 3 kinds of cancer in later years. You know what I'm saying? And he never made the connection. But when he told me that story, it's like, you realize, He said that ship was melted like ice cream in the sun.
Wow.
Being, in the proximity of that nuclear explosion. One thing that didn't melt like ice cream in the sun was Peeps.
And I love Peeps.
Peeps.
It's disturbing.
Yes. the peeps were exposed to the equivalent of a nuclear blast, they kept their shape.
The whole inline of your
You-
body is just.
I
peep.
love it. I'm gonna blow right up like a peep.
Yeah, so
It's gonna be buoyant.
It's like
in the
Alien.
water.
It's like Alien, except a peep comes out.
yeah. So if we start World War III in Syria, you know that our enemy is not going to be the living dead. Our enemy that we're going to fight off with those laser disc shields is going to be a legion of peeps.
That's awesome.
Be an
I might
awesome
able to
movie.
eat my way through an army
Yeah.
of peeps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same.
I
thing.
want a percentage. You do that. I want a percentage.
Copyright right now, 65 Manchester.
All right, let's go. Tony, how much more time do we got in this madhouse?
We are, after this tune, we'll have about 10 minutes left.
All right, that works. Okay. In the spirit of depravity and weirdness, let's play some Alice Cooper. How about Is It My Body here on the Haunted Cabaret on Rhode Island Free Radio?
What have I got that makes you want to love me? Now, is it my body? Someone I might be? Something inside me? You better tell me. It's really up to you. Have you got the time to find out who I really am? Oh. What does it take to get inside of your mind? Give me a break, yeah. And take a chance for the very first time. You better tell me, it's really up to you. Have you got the time to find out who I really am? What have I got that makes you want to love me? Is it my body? Someone I might be? Something inside me? You better tell me. It's really up to you. Have you got the time to find out who I really am?
All right, that was Alice Cooper. Is It My Body off the Love It to Death? And again, if Fairies Wear Boots is fossil rock, Love It to Death, Alice Cooper's, I think, third album. I think we're going back to like the early, actually no, about the same time as Sabbath's Fairies Wear Boots. 'Cause Fairies Wear Boots was on Paranoid about 71, 72,
I mean,
and so was Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper hung out with Pablo Picasso and Salvador Dali, like people in art history books.
Right.
He hung out with, and he's still,
and he's still alive
kind
to
of
tell us
still
about
alive.
it.
If you've seen him on stage lately, you might
Wonder. Right, but he's most alive
he's
on the golf
still
course,
out
right?
there,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say this if Chuckles the Clown was, sitting here with us out of respect, but I don't know, ever since Alice Cooper got Jesus, it's like he's better out on the golf course than he is making albums.
And
I'll
I
tell
think
you
he
that.
opened like a barbecue restaurant too, right?
Serving what? That makes me nervous, Jesus or not.
That makes me just as nervous as
Abdullah
Abdullah
the
the Butcher's
Butcher.
barbecue restaurant.
Now that one there, yeah. The only thing that would make me more nervous than Abdullah the Butcher was if Idi Amin should come back and tell us.
Abdullah the Butcher serves the ribs and his, his headlines.
Yeah, he keeps the little napkins of silverware in his head scars. You guys wrestling fans too?
Huge. Yes.
Okay, at this very table, goat horror and wrestling.
Rare breed.
I'll tell you, I'm almost scared to ask anything else. I mean, this might be like the triplets hit out of the park or something like that. Wrestling? Which wrestling? Who?
Now, just keep in mind, we only have 10 minutes left in your program.
Yeah.
I'm only
We
going.
could go on forever.
Yeah, this is going to last only 2 minutes. We're only going to acknowledge your interest in wrestling.
Okay.
I mean,
Let
like-
Andrew can talk about it too. He's a big wrestling fan too.
oh, I'm looking
Oh,
at
yeah, I'm
both
a
of you.
huge wrestling
Yeah.
nerd. Yeah, yeah. For my birthday, my dad took me to King of the Ring with the Hell in a Cell match with Undertaker and Mankind. That was my first wrestling experience.
That was your first wrestling.
That was my very first wrestling experience. The pay-per-view in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
I would bow to you if my head would not hit this microphone. That's my favorite wrestling period was the Attitude Era.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
My
nothing,
favorite too.
Beat it.
nothing will ever be better than that.
No, and you had the Monday Night Wars going on with WCW, and even they were putting out some good product every now.
No. Oh, okay.
They,
He's
yeah.
fired. He's done.
Stop. You're not hitting the triple. WCW sucked.
But
WC, there's no but.
I might need to
No,
walk
but
away a
it-
minute.
it pushed,
WCW sucked from the moment Ted Turner bought that organization,
yeah, and he put Bischoff in charge.
and he put Bischoff in charge, which is kind of like putting.
I feel like a Batista bomb's coming.
Actually, my words fail me.
It's kind of like hiring DJ Psycho Eddie and I as your personal trainers.
Yeah, kinda, sorta, but worse. Because the first thing he did is he created the Dungeon of Doom. See, I have a good memory. When I say something sucks, I can back it up really good. They got Earthquake and they put a shark on him.
yeah,
Mark Tenta went from being Earthquake. Then they told him he was going to be the shark. So the dumb bastard goes and gets a tattoo of a shark over his lion so he can be the shark. And then Eric Bischoff tells him 2 weeks later, no, you're not the shark anymore.
right.
You're back to being plain old Mark Tenta. Lose the shark.
Lose the shark, get a skullet tattoo instead.
Yeah. And then they covered Brutus Beefcake
Yeah.
with a bunch of polka dots and turned them into the Zodiac.
That was weird.
Yeah, I think it was polka dots, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So from that auspicious beginning, then WCW decided that you couldn't call a foreign object anymore because somebody in human relations decided foreign object, which for non-wrestling fans is a weapon you bring into the ring, thus it is foreign to the ring.
Right.
They thought that a foreign object was something that comes from Europe or Asia. And so it wasn't going to be called a foreign object anymore. It was now an international object. Ooh, look at Kevin Sullivan. He's about to hit Sting with an international object.
He's been hit with a French baguette.
Need I say any more? But yes, WWF Attitude, best ever.
Yeah.
By far.
ECW, almost. Because WWF did the rare trick of taking what ECW did really well, and then they added larger-than-life personalities
Right.
to
And
it.
brought it to a bigger audience instead of bingo halls.
I don't know. Watching, the Sandman and
Oh,
stuff
no,
like that was
I
pretty
no. That's like I said. I give it. No, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I just have to. Well, like Andrew said though, it's Sandman versus Tommy Dreamer, or Undertaker versus Mick Foley.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I meant by. I'm saying Vince McMahon
Right.
somehow managed to combine the superheroes with the extreme violence and attitude.
Right. And ECW just didn't have the history that those two characters did. Those were two guys that had been around and evolved.
They had been around the
10
circuit.
times over.
Yeah.
And kudos to somebody like The Undertaker to keep his gimmick going over 20, 30 years and constantly being the same person, but just evolving with the years and the periods. It's
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that the Undertaker, and we're going to close Tony. I promise, we're going to start. We'll close the wrestling
Turning into a wrestling podcast.
right now. We've done this before. We've
happens.
done this before. Wrestling talk is broken out, unexpectedly many times before.
International wrestling talk.
That sounds
I
a
will-
lot
I
worse
will-
than it meant to be.
I will never forget that ever. When I'm senile, and I will forget most things in my life. I'll forget my wife's name, but I will not forget the friggin' international object pulled out of Kevin Sullivan's trunks on WCW wrestling. But no, what I was going to say is Undertaker. What I'm hoping, which isn't going to happen because Vince McMahon now has lost his marbles.
He's going legit.
he's senile.
He's senile. He's steroid-nile.
Yeah.
Steroids
No, that's all natural.
on Vince.
No, it's not.
The only thing natural on Vince right now is his mouth, and I don't even mean his lips. I mean what comes out of him.
And his testicles the size of a rat turd.
Well, that's why Linda McMahon, talked Donald Trump into bringing her to Washington so that she wouldn't have to, live with Vince McMahon anymore. That's what I think happened. But no, what they need to do in WWE is bring back valets and managers. That way, we can have Ric Flair come back as a manager, as an evil manager, and we can have the Undertaker come back as the satanic sorcerer persona. Remember when he hurt his knees that time, and he couldn't. Right,
Ministry.
Right,
The corporate
Ministry of
ministry.
Darkness.
Yep.
He has to bring back the Ministry of Darkness.
That'd be amazing.
That would be awesome.
But no one listens to true fans, so
No.
it's all PG era now.
No, lately Vince McMahon is determined to naysay the true fans. I think that's what it is. If you suggest something to him as a fan, he'll do something that's the opposite to prove that you're wrong.
Was the Ministry of Darkness when they hung Big Boss Man?
That was, I think,
from
it was the
steel
corporate
cage?
ministry. And
That
at
was
that
corporate
point,
ministry.
Yeah, that was corporate ministry. Yeah, I don't. That was silly.
Yeah, yeah.
I saw Brutus the Barber Beefcake doing some actual barbering a few weekends ago. I mean, how bizarre is that?
And how did he do?
It was awful. He hacked this poor kid's head up, man.
Okay, Tony, how are we doing for time here?
We are actually just about out of time for, we can have one more track.
All right. So we'll say good night from the Haunted Cabaret. Thank you to Lions and Lust for being here.
Thank
You're
you.
also going
Thanks
to be
for
on
having
the
us.
Tony Jones Show, so you are not vanishing from our studio.
One of the
quite as
top-rated
yet.
podcasts in the nation.
Yeah, what number is that, Tony?
I'm really counting on you guys tonight because I'm down to number 22, but they do ratings in real time. Now, I haven't put any new content up, so I'm counting on George Garner and Lions and Lust to really have me break at least the top 5, so a lot of pressure.
Tony Jones, number 9, even down to 22, going back to number 9.
Hopefully over number 9.
Well, we're aiming for number 5, at least in the next couple of days.
Just the pleasure of beating out the Snoop Dogg by one position is enough for me this week, though.
All right, Tony, let's get out of here. Let's do Guns N' Roses. That's always good. Let's get out of here with Mr. Brownstone here in the Haunted Cabaret on Rhode Island Free Radio. Nighty night.
I get up around 7, get out of bed around 9, and I don't worry about nothing, no, because worrying's a waste of my time. So usually starts around 7, we go on stage around 9, get on the bus about 11, sipping a drink and feeling fine. We've been dancing with Mr. Brownstone. He's been knocking. He won't leave me alone. No. He won't leave me alone. I used to do a little, but a little wasn't doing, so the little got more and more. I just can't keep trying to get a little better, said a little better than before. I used to do a little, but a little wouldn't do, so the little got more and more. I just keep trying to get a little better, said a little better than before. We've been dancing with Mr. Brownstone. He's been knocking, he won't leave me alone. No, he won't leave me alone.
Hey everybody, I'm Tony Jones, and welcome to the Tony Jones Show.
It's not that people are willing to take the risk. It's sort of a herd mentality, a lemming-like mentality. If you don't go with the flow, you're anti-American and therefore a suspect.
The Tony Jones Show, featuring punk, rockabilly, psychobilly, and Providence, Rhode Island's finest, starts right now.
He's a dangerous militia member, I hear. Oh, and there she blows.
The time for mediocrity and broadcasting is over. My name is Tony Jones, and you are tuned in to The Tony Jones Show, your destination for talk and rock, online at TonyJones.org, Facebook.com/Tony Jones Show, on the almighty Twitter at Tony Jones NRI. Oh, baby, coming out of a little Lee Fields, Standing by Your Side, the name of that one, man. It does not get any better than Lee Fields. R.J. Gregory just referred to it as baby making music. I mean, just what a better way to start off this week's show with a little baby making music in Lee Fields. Now, before we get into the program, in studio with me this week, Lines and Lust are here. George Garner is here, but I got to thank you all for making the Tony Jones Show one of the top music podcasts in the nation. Earlier this week, topping out at number 11, then we hit number 15. Today, the latest analytics have us at number 22, so I am counting tonight on George Garner and Lines and Lust to bring me into the top 5. A lot of pressure for this week's Tony Jones Show, trending on the iTunes charts and just the regular podcast charts in general. So, of course, I have to thank you all for that as we spin some of the best music around. But when we're not spinning music, we're chatting, we're talking. And tonight we're going to talk with Lines and Lust, who just had their debut show. I can almost say a mere 24 hours ago, this very band was on stage. Now they're here in studio on the Tony Jones Show. George Garner, good evening.
Good evening.
So tell us a little bit about Lines and Lust, and you guys just feel free to I'm not as regimented as the George Garner program. You know, he's a real professional. I'm more of a slob. So just feel free to jump around.
Hold on a second.
Feel free to jump on the mic.
First of all, like before, we need to clear something up here. Now,
we just said I was a slob.
No. It's not even that. But on the Rhode Island Free Radio schedule right now, your show right now follows My Haunted Cabaret
live. Yep.
Right. Now, my question that we need to clear up is, when you say that the time for mediocrity is past, is that any reference to my show?
No, that is referenced to all of the, just about all of the
other
folks,
shows.
Not other shows, maybe not even necessarily other internet shows, but pretty much 95% of what you hear when you get in your car and you turn on that dial and hear. Well, we just heard some gunshots here in West Warwick, but when you turn that dial...
Yes, we have more serious problems here than my fragile ego.
We don't have to talk about my close to disgust for mainstream media when there's gunshots going off outside of the studio here. And we could do a whole show probably on the West Warwick booms. So there is a conspiracy theory in this area about chemtrails and about booms and different sounds and military practices that have been happening around West Warwick. Also, we are a mere 2 weeks removed from the 4th of July, so maybe everybody should just simmer down. True. Not only am I beating out Snoop Dogg even today, but and I've told this story on the air before, but I had a series of interviews with NPR. They really liked me. They liked my resume. They said they liked my voice, but they thought that I was too much of a, quote, loose cannon, unquote, to have the position. And now if you look at the iTunes charts, you see the Tony Jones Show, and well under that, you see a couple of NPR programs. So I'm not one to take a victory lap, but, man, you can't beat that.
No, and believe me, I've listened to NPR, and they need a few loose cannons. they really do.
Right? There's a lot of tight cannons, because they have sticks up their butts. So let's get back on track here. Lines and Lust in studio. George Garner is my special guest co-host. Whoever wants to hop on the mic, whoever can do the best job, tell us the current lineup of Lines and Lust, who they are and what they do.
Should we draw straws, or
let's just both talk at the same time?
Yeah,
that's
let's
good
confuse
for radio
everybody.
Listening.
Yeah, it'll be like The View, the male style.
Yes, this is definitely an excellent band.
No, as of the lineup right now, it's a really good lineup. I feel I'm playing with some of the best musicians that I've played with in a long time, including like RJ on drums, and got Kate screaming her lungs out, fronting us. She's great. She's amazing. Don't let her fool you. And the newest members of our band, well, since it's a new band, that really doesn't make much sense. But yeah, as you've probably heard before, we are former members of 1031. We tried to redevelop ourselves into something better, something greater, something far more superior than what we were. No, I'm kidding. But it's a different style than what we were doing, and bringing that dynamic to us. We've got Dan playing on bass with us, and we've got Andrew joining me on guitar. It's definitely brought a new dynamic and a new style to our sound.
We are now the best baby making music for people.
They're going to be opening for Lee Fields next door.
The safety pins embedded in their eyebrows and holding up their pants.
Now, that just dovetails into a perfect conversation I want to have because, for those of you who don't know, Tony Jones and the Cretin 3, through R.J. Gregory's house, share a practice space, and I was perusing some Lines and Lust merchandise this past week, and what did I see? And for someone with a little bit of a legal background, I saw some novelty balloons, and and I'm saying that to keep you guys from any lawsuits that may cause an issue where someone gets impregnated with your novelty balloons and then sues the band's Lines and Lust because they supplied the prophylactic. So talk a little bit about the...
wait, that's not what those are.
Talk about your latest addition to the merchandise here. And then there's...
Well, first off, Tony, there's no such thing as bad press.
You could have the...
If they get sued, they're not going to get much from us, but at least our name will be in the papers.
I mean,
Won't be the first time.
removed from the Partridge Family, you could have the first ever band baby that is like co-owned by the band.
Well,
but,
we could always put on the packages, come on, get happy.
So tell us a little bit about this little piece of merchandise that I need to remove from my hand.
Well, we're trying to find something that's a creative outlet, something that's going to be different than all the other bands, because everybody's got stickers, everybody's got shirts, and, obviously we're a new startup band. We don't have a lot of money, and nobody's willing to support us yet, so if you want to, Lines and Lust on Facebook, we take money order, take PayPal, so anybody wants to help us out, we're all for it.
Now, just imagine if Chuckles the Clown was with us tonight. He could make this into a basset hound.
And also inadvertently...
yeah, these are... And this is not a racist remark. These are clearly made in China.
International object. That's great.
I wonder if this would fit me.
George, I don't know.
Do we have audio? Do we have?
You gotta go for a higher standard than that.
We only have audio tonight, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
if,
so it's
if
not
that's
worth
the
it for me to try
question,
this
yes,
on?
we only have audio tonight.
I want to see that too.
I mean, it's bad enough that George Garner is just wearing the shortest shorts possible this evening.
Hey, he's got sexy legs.
Yeah, he's bringing back the 70s legs.
I used to have sexy legs.
Nobody in a goat horse shirt.
Now I have I have former soccer player legs. I have athlete going to seed legs.
So, as we mentioned at the Open, a mere 24 hours from the first show. Tell us a little bit about the first show and how it went last night.
Overall, I think it went pretty well. I mean, we were one of the first bands on, so unfortunately, a lot of people missed us.
I was lobbying for you guys to headline because I work a little bit later on Friday nights, so I was hoping you guys would be playing last night.
Yeah, that's a little time off. We got to build our chops first, but we appreciate everybody that came out to see us last night, supported a great cause, and had a chance to see us for our debut show.
And the Met is just one of the better rooms to play right now, along with Alchemy, which we'll talk about a little bit later on the show, but you guys will be there this Thursday night. We're going to talk more with Lines and Lust throughout the program. Of course, my co-host this week is George Garner, but as always, the Tony Jones Show is all about the music. A double shot on tap for you, brand new to the Tony Jones Show in Rhode Island Free Radio playlist. You can do the same. Go to rifreeradio.org, click on the contact page. We're going to hear from 61 Ghosts up next for you. Passion Tipped Arrow, the name of this one. You heard it here. And chances are you heard it here first on The Tony Jones Show.
So one last question I'll ask of you. I'll let you get some rest. Has my passion-tipped arrow been removed from your chest? Did you break it in 1,000? Did you let it turn to dust? And when you're smiling deep in your sleep, you don't think of us. You mumble names I do not know, sounds that tear me apart. And your passion-tipped arrow has fallen from my heart. Pale moon glow, alabaster skin, and your breathing so sublime. Your lips, love, and future dreams I once thought were mine. Desire is just a waiting game, needs a flame to ignite. Silence save for stifled cries as you sleep through our last night. So one last question I'll ask of you, then I'll let you get some rest. Has my passion to Darrow been removed from your chest? Show me your scars. What's your concern? I won't turn away. They've all been earned. They're not your flaws. Rest head on chest. Their noble cause is laid to rest. When your thoughts run like rivers, I will slow them down. When you lose your way, I'll turn you back around. When you drift away from shore, you'll be lost and found in my arms, baby, in my arms. Show me your scars. Vanish those scars. They're just skin deep. Let down your guard. Not yours to keep. When your thoughts run like rivers, I will slow them down. When you lose your way, I'll turn you back around. When you drift away from shore, you'll be lost and found in my arms, baby, in my arms. Show me your scars. Show me your scars. Show me your scars. Show me your scars.
A little 61 Ghost right here on the Tony Jones Show, a double shot of 61 Ghost. Scars, the track you've just heard. Last time we chatted, I brought you into Passion Tipped Arrow. I had a chance to see the legendary Bob Dylan earlier this week, and I got to say, put on a great show. It took him a little bit to get warmed up, but once he got going, he was Bob Dylan. Then after that, I took a stroll down the block a little bit and saw Rhode Island's own Bob Dylan, Mark Cutler. So I had a double shot of some just great music this past week. And
what does Bob Dylan play these days? The piano, the guitar on stage?
He
or what?
switches it up, so you could tell he's a little bit labored. So he needs seems like he needs to take a break in between. So he'll play the piano for a little bit, and then he'll just sing Then he'll kind of take a break. Then he'll play the guitar more towards the end. So he mixes it up between, the separate instruments, and then kind of catches his breath in between. A guy who's been smoking cigarettes for probably 60 years. It took him a little bit to get going, but
Right.
once he warmed up,
I'm actually curious enough to ask too. Like, he's written like 9 million songs. Like, what what did he decide to sing out of that big, huge, gigantic repertoire?
So the kind of urban legend is, and I had pretty decent seats. I think it seems like they decide the set as they go. So he'll kind of signal to the other guys, when he's taking his break, what the next set of songs are. So he just was kind of mixing it up kind of all over the place. But, I mean, just a fantastic night of music, and probably a once-in-a-lifetime experience, because I got to say that on New Year's Eve, when those death pools happen, I mean, for like 10 years now, Bob Dylan has been in the top 20 death pool for the next year, and but he's still out there doing it. So you're listening to the Tony Jones Show. George Garner is my co-host, and in studio with me is Lines and Lust, a brand new band, 25 hours removed from their first ever show. Tell us a little bit about, and you don't have to go into too many details, because I know that there was some, as we say in music, band drama, but how did 1031 become Lines and Lust and kind of morph into just being a separate act with some of the same players?
Well, before we get into that, on that death pool, what's the odds on Keith Richards? Because I'm thinking,
that's
he's going to be up there.
No, that's the sucker's bet. Don't do that.
No, as for 1031, there were some differences in the band, which, I mean, not to get into too many details, there was...
Or you can.
Yeah, well, no, I just want to try to let dead dogs rest. But, yeah, there were some personal differences in the band, and there was some changes that came along that didn't really work out too well, and we just kind of parted our ways. But RJ and I, we've been playing together since back in Lucky United days, and...
There's another lawsuit.
I didn't want to say it.
Yeah, well,
are you kidding? We have a revolving door of lawyers here. I mean, we're good. We're good.
Okay, a band that will remain nameless. You can edit that in the post, right?
And you guys have all, RJ, if you could chime in, have been in other bands throughout the years, right? I mean, I've been seeing you play for probably 10 years now. Talk a little bit about the other acts and the other genres you've been in over the years.
You played with Van Halen, didn't you?
Yeah, I wish.
And
I
the
was
Dixie
that good.
Chicks.
Yeah, I mean, I started out with a band called Sidetrack. That was my first hoorah, and that was actually when Providence was a really good music scene, so I got to experience that. And then after that, we played a small little stint with Deadpan Sally. That's when I actually met you for the first time, because we played a show together. And after that, the magic happened, and next thing I know, I'm playing with the awesome Cretin 3.
The legendary.
The legendary, yes, the legend, not the award-winning, but legendary. Although there is an award winner in our band who will remain nameless. But
well, we may not be award-winning, but we are charting.
yeah, exactly.
So ask me which I would rather have.
Well, and I'm going to tell you what, as a drummer, I have the best of both worlds, because when you're a drummer, you're behind everybody.
Right.
So not only do I get to play with a male ass and a female ass, I get to stare at Tony's butt and Katie's butt. It's a win-win for me. So,
Now, out of respect to RJ, when we started this new, Tony Jones and the Cretin 3 lineup, I went out and bought a proper belt. So he does not have to see my hairy butt crack. Unless he requests.
No plumber's exhibition there.
I always threatened to put a picture of a woman's butt on the back of Tony, because every time he would get into the music and kind of bend over, the shirt would come up, but the pants would be down around the back of his neck.
Well, what you do is when you just go kidnap a pair of Tony's pants when he's not in them, paint a couple of nipples on where the butt cheeks go. Just a thought. I'm thinking of you, RJ.
I got brave one day. I think, what was it, one show we were having, it was a really good show. It was at Firehouse. We were having a lot of fun. And, I mean, we always have fun, but this particular show was really good energy, and you had the the Lucha. The
Oh,
Lucha
yeah,
mask
the
on.
human fly mask.
And for some reason, there was a break in the song. And I remember running out of the behind the drum set. I don't know what I thought, what I was doing, but I thought it'd be funny to crawl between your legs, and look up, and I think that was a bad mistake because I quickly realized what I did and ran away. Yeah. But now we're in we had 1031. That was a fun band. We did a lot of fun things with that. And like Eric said, we went our ways, and Katie, Eric, and I, we really wanted to keep going. And I'll tell you, we were really lucky to find Dan. He was the first to come along. We needed a bass player. George is an excellent bass player, and Dan is he's an excellent bass player. It's really fun to work with him. He brought a new, different style of dynamic into the band due to his musical influences. And then Dan knew Andrew and brought Andrew in, and he's an amazing guitarist. He brings a fun sound to the band due to his musical background. He's big into ska and things of that nature. So he brings that kind of funk into the band, which is really fun. So
Baby making music?
We're getting there. The thing with having a new band is we're all experienced musicians. We've all done a lot of great things, but as a new band, you really got to just try a whole bunch of different things to fall into your sound. And we're at the point now where we have a set together that is a lot of fun, but we're not there yet. We have fun music, but I think our sound's only going to get better.
Well, it's evolving.
Exactly.
Don't be so impatient. This is the way it's supposed to go.
Yep. Yeah. I know. Yeah, that's the other thing too. For the amount of time that this band has been going with this current lineup, to be able to play out and play a solid set of songs that sound good, I'm really impressed by it.
We have friends in this very building that have been playing for months and years and still don't have a set to actually play out with yet. So
are
a
they
month
allowed
is
to play into the building? Last time I checked, we made the psychic mad, and she dealt us the death cards. But we're still here.
There's nothing worse than pissing off a fortune teller, right?
Plus,
honestly, the tower card is actually the worst one, but we'll talk about that on another time.
Yeah. Plus, I think to our unnamed friends in this complex that are still struggling in the darkness, isn't there a statute of limitations or something? You can only practice in the same friggin' practice space for so long before the landlord just says you're not going anywhere and throws you out.
I haven't seen you load your equipment into your car ever, so I'm throwing you out.
Yes, I disagree with the concept of you being in a band.
So next up for Lines and Lust is a show this Thursday at Alchemy, which, by the way, if you haven't been up there, the Old Jerkies, if you're local, fantastic spot. It's going to be November Party. Wolfman Chuck in his his Spookalele, his that act. He has the plugged-in act too. And this next band, who is a good friend of ours here. Hopefully, they're going to be back in studio with us very shortly. Playing with Lines and Lust this Thursday at Alchemy is Shore City, and we're going to hear from them next. And when we come back, almost everybody in this room has been highly influenced by horror, and we're going to talk about that. And also, I have on tap for you, hopefully it works, the first ever recording from Lines and Lust. So if you're waiting for that, be sure and stay tuned here as we head into the second half of the Tony Jones Show. Back to the music now. Shore City, the ghost of John Crosland, right here on the Tony Jones Show.
Defiant air filled up a frame on that courthouse square. The scaffold stood on that courthouse side, only as wide as the door was wide. I told the frame and a little more of the captain still of the courthouse door. We all wondered if he had time. The criminal was a crime. That's the judge with the yellow twist up and knotted rope inside the pit. And there we stood, John Crossland, the status quo didn't play. So we sit, we will with dread of the passing eyes of the buckshot men. Still want me crying and you see that you hang the rope on the gallows. The gallows stood on the courthouse lawn by the monopod will be struck and done. He gave away and no one broke out of respect for the hanging. And there we stood, John Crossland, the saddest ghost in England. So he stepped down and he placed his hand on another man from another land. Again we breathe another's grief while the hangman's hand was on the lid. A twinkle grew in that buckshot eye. He gave a riddle instead replied. Who serves me best? Came and said, hey, we'll learn the rope on the gallows tree. And there he stood, John Crossland, the saddest ghost in England.
It started in an LA room. My son did his magic with some of my tunes. I liked the sounds that I heard. It somehow struck a real deep nerve. Have to keep rolling on. Have to keep singing my song. Have to keep rolling on. I started playing everywhere. Had to keep the music going anywhere. Let the world hear what I had to say. Gotta keep the music going every day. Have to keep rolling on. Have to keep singing my song. Have to keep rolling on. They say that music is good for the soul. Things like blues and rock and roll. That's why I have to sing my song. Pick up my guitar and play along. Have to keep rolling on. Have to keep singing magic with some of my tunes. I like the sounds that I heard. It somehow struck a real deep nerve. Have to keep going on. Have to keep singing my song. Have to keep going on. They say that music is good for the soul. Things like punk and rock and roll. That's why I had to sing my song for Marie Michelle and Brian Young. Have to keep going on. Have to keep singing my song. Have to keep going on. Have to keep singing my song. Have to keep rolling on. Have to keep singing my song.
Keep Rolling On, the name of that one, the Papa Joe Show, right here on the Tony Jones Show. Before that, The Ghost of John Crosland, a band that'll be playing this Thursday at Alchemy. We heard from Shore City. Thank you all for tuning in and hanging out. Tony Jones here. Everybody, almost everybody in this room is, dare I say that Tony Jones and the Cretin 3 and Lines and Lust are horror punk bands. I'm straying away from that term over the years, but everybody in this room highly influenced by horror. Tell us a little bit how that played into 1031 and how that plays into Lines and Lust. If you go into the 1031 Lines and Lust, Tony Jones and the Cretin 3 practice space, you will see some of the best horror collectibles available. But tell us a little bit about the horror genre's influence on Lines and Lust.
Well, let's see. How are we going to explain this one? With 1031, it was kind of obvious.
More out there, right?
Yeah. Lines and Lust is Katie's love child. She came up with the name.
With those condoms you had here earlier, there's going to be a lot of love children around Providence. Sliding around.
But if you kind of look at our logo, there's like a rotten apple, almost like a poison apple kind of deal. So that kind of keeps the spirit of our horror side going. And every now and again, Katie throws a couple of references in her lyrics and things like that. So it's a little more hidden with this band.
Nuanced.
Yeah, with this band.
Well,
than it is with
lust is
1031.
one of the 7 deadly sins, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
yeah. So I mean, again, there's little clues that are there. So we kind of leave you hanging. But with 1031, it was a little more open, and we couldn't really come up with a band name, and 1031 obviously was for Halloween, and that's why we decided to go with that one. So we just rolled with that theme.
Yeah,
But,
nobody liked my suggestion, so we'll just leave it at that.
Oh, that's always a great, just the build up to, and it's easier / harder today with technology. The build up to actually thinking of, okay, this is the band name that we're going to go with. So, for instance, our old band, the Gauners, with George Gauner and I, we were almost called Schmegma, and then instead of Schmegma, we were almost called Cheesy Secretion. And luckily, we never landed on. We went the Gauners instead of Cheesy Secretion. But the build up to thinking of band names, I can only imagine that for Lines and Lust, you guys really workshop that stuff. So, what are some of the names that were left on the cutting room floor? Any of them stick out to you?
Well, the safer ones that I could suggest were LaFours.
From Mallrats, that's
that I like. Yeah.
Yeah, that one we really liked.
LaFours and Marshall Willenholly was another one we wanted to go with. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then Katie and Eric really fell in love with, dare I say it, Beef. I can't even say it. Beef Squatch. They really fell in that one. What was it? Necrophilia
Elvis.
Yeah, there you go. Necrophilia Elvis. So there was.
That's gonna be a song.
Yeah, there was some quite a few colorful names. as
Beef
I should
Squad?
say. Squatch.
Beef
Squatch. Okay,
yeah.
so beef and then Sasquatch.
Yeah, the Bob's Burgers influence.
I think I've dated a couple girls that were in the Beef Squad.
Now, while we're on the subject of names here, let me just point something out to any of our listeners who may be musically inclined and thinking of starting a band.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it.
Well, first of all, like I mentioned on my show, it is one of the stupidest things to do. For every other reason other than the fact that you just want to have fun and do it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the only reason to do it. However, there is always the chance. Now keep this when the subject comes up of naming the band. Keep in mind in the back of your minds, there is always the chance that you might actually make some noise. Right. You might put some music out there. You might actually accomplish something. I've seen this. Yeah, I know. Actually, Tony Jones himself has said that if he knew how successful we were going to be, he might have had second thoughts about naming the band the Cretin 3. But I'll tell you that. But that's nowhere. That's nowhere near the worst name I've ever heard.
Sure, yeah.
For a band, and this is I've seen this happen quite a few times. That a band started. Let's say they started getting bigger than their name was going to let them get, and then you run into trouble. So even if you're only, if it's only you 4 people sitting there in the basement, smoking a little devil's lettuce and throwing names around, as Tony likes to say, that's one I've adopted that from Tony Jones shamelessly, smoking the devil's lettuce. I mean, even if it's just you deciding what the name of and there's, and you're the furthest thing around from successful, still give a little bit of thought to this name.
Kind of like when our friends Vague Perception went back to Vague Perception off of their old name, Richard Cranium. Just picture Don Pardo announcing Saturday Night Live and tonight's musical guest, Beef Squatch.
The funny thing about Lines and Lust is we were throwing around all the band names, and Katie is a really, really talented artist. So when we were coming up with band names, we were trying to have something that could be, like marketable with a logo and whatnot.
I think you succeeded because you've got something marketable with a logo that has all kinds of excuses and all kinds of other meanings for lines.
And double entendres. Yeah. So when I think of Lines and Lust, I think of cocaine and sex, and there's nothing more rock and roll than cocaine and sex, right?
The funny thing is that's almost how we were at Friday's restaurant, TGI Fridays.
Because nothing says rock and roll like TGI Fridays.
It was a quick thing, but we were having lunch. It was a Sunday afternoon, like an old married couple. We went out to lunch, and we were talking about the band, and Katie goes, "I like Lines and Lust," and she's like, "Check it out," and she actually presented the Rotten Apple with the Lines and Lust the way it was written, and I was like, now that you put the whole thing in like a visual with the name, I'm like, it's really cool, and it's and she's gonna punch me or maybe Baptista bomb me for saying this, but man,
international object.
Besides the drug reference, get that away, but the name is very fitting for Katie. It is 100%. It's it fits her perfectly.
Nothing says Lines and Lust like all you can eat appetizers.
Well, we did that and they were horrible and we got them for free. Remember?
It could have easily been Lines and Dysentery, depending on the restaurant you went to.
No, but all you got to remember when you get in front of national media,
which we hope
in the future, when you're in front of national media, Lines has no relation to Coke.
Right.
The most classic example of this is like way back in the day. It took Paul McCartney, I think, 100 years to finally admit that LSD, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, meant LSD. He successfully argued about that all the time it took him to make his $1 billion.
Or Ozzy Osbourne with Suicide Solution. I mean, he fought the real story of that song till this day.
Yeah.
But, you could also take Lines and Lust as like making the joke about baby making music, The lines could be the lyrics, and the lust, maybe we have sexual kind of songs.
It's the line to get into your bedroom.
Cheap pickup lines.
Single file.
Yeah. And hey, that might be fitting too, because unfortunately, Katie hears them all the time at our shows. You get those guys that try to drop those cheap lines. So any way you look at it, the name could go in 100 different directions.
I like that. I like that one. I like that one you just said. Yeah, that's
So I mean, the name is just it's a good name. It could mean a bunch of different things. Like when people would say, "Oh, why did you call yourself 1031?" And I'd go, "All right, stop and think about it." And they'd give me that blank stare, and I go, 1031.
It's our combined IQ.
And then they still wouldn't say anything, and I go, 1031, Halloween. Oh, my God, that's an awesome name. You know what I mean? But with Lines and Lust, you don't have to do that. And that's the way, and it fits with our music. I mean, we're just, our music can be taken in 100 different ways. And it's fitting all around. I think it's probably the best band name that I've ever, besides the Cretin 3.
I know I've told this story on the air before, but Tony Jones and the Cretin 3, Back in the days when the Providence was hopping and Club Hell was hopping, I was walking into Club Hell late one night with a few of my closest friends, and someone speaking a little bit louder than they probably knew, or the music dropped at that point. They said, "Hey, here comes Tony Jones and those three cretins," and I said, "We've got ourselves a name." No offense to my friends, Dirty Dan and Yuck Yuck that were with me at the time, but yes, the what I heard was, "Here comes Tony Jones and those three cretins." I thought nobody used the word cretin anymore. They should have had that copyrighted.
And out of all the years I've played with you, I never knew that's how you came up with the name. Because I've always laughed at it, because we're not a three-piece band anymore, But
well, no, our lineup varies. I mean, we've been as few as 3 people, including Tony, and as many.
A few
as
nights I was in here
5.
as a one-piece.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you though. This lineup of the Cretin 3 is really good, man. It's a great lineup. So come check out the Cretin 3 and Lines and Lust.
And the most important thing about the current lineup of Tony Jones and the Cretin 3 is that everybody is taking their medication now on the regular basis. So, I mean, that's huge.
But we do have a bodyguard.
Let's, as I look at the clock here, I want to swing back to the music, because in just a few minutes' time, I want to say about 6 minutes' time, you're going to hear the radio debut of Lines and Lust. Now, in full disclosure, these guys sent me this track right before we came on the air. I downloaded it. I didn't have a chance to listen to it. So if it doesn't work, I apologize, and all the blame is on Lines and Lust. So don't send me the hate mail.
No, just Dan. He
send it to them. But before that, we're going to swing back to the music now with a little Ravi Shavi. Wow, my little comment about the medication, and a better segue could not have been made. This song is called Accidental Mental. You heard it here on the Tony Jones Show.
Great, now people don't think I take medication.
Oh, they leave you insane. Don't hate the doctor, hate the game. Oh, this talk for so much pain. So much pain until then again. Well, I need someone to talk to. I need someone to hear me. All the things that I'm saying, I'm staring down at your real talk. Real talk, it's hard to find. Accidental mental breakdown. Accidental break. Accidental breakdown. Accidental mental breakdown. Accidental mental breakdown. Accidental mental break. Accidental breakdown. Accidental mental breakdown. Oh, they leave you insane. Don't hate the doctor, hate the game. Oh, this talk for so much pain. So much pain until that game. Well, I need someone to talk to. I need someone to hear me. All the things that I'm saying, I'm staring down at your real talk. Ow! Accidental mental breakdown. Accidental mental breakdown. Accidental breakdown. Accidental mental breakdown. Accidental mental breakdown. Accidental mental breakdown. Accidental breakdown. Accidental mental breakdown. Real talk, it's hard to find. There's no one behind you. See her talking, she says to a friend, man, you pretend to be. Real talk is just another word. The hurt to be hurt, the people to die for. See her talking, she says to a friend, man, you pretend to be. Accidental mental breakdown. Accidental mental breakdown. Accidental breakdown. Accidental mental breakdown. Accidental mental breakdown.
Little Midnight Creeps right here on the Tony Jones Show. One of our favorites around here. Just Can't Get It Right, the name of that one. Tony Jones here. As I look at the clock, we are starting to run out of time. Most importantly, I want to get to what is up next, and that is the world debut of a little recorded Lines and Lust mere hours ago off of the recording studio. Through the magic of the internet, emailed to me here in the Rhode Island Free Radio Studios and ready for your consumption. Anything that you guys want to tell us about this track we're about to hear?
Yeah, it was recorded about 3 hours ago.
The quality's good, though. The quality's good. It's good.
And does this feature RJ Gregory, or does this feature a drum track?
No,
RJ.
This features me.
This is the real deal.
Yeah. We were recording it early this afternoon. So
Got the drums in this morning around 11 o'clock or so, 12 o'clock, something like that, and then got it mixed about 3 o'clock. I don't know, something like that.
Wow.
yeah, but this track is a fun track. It's pretty straightforward. So there's not much to say, but it's kind of upbeat and it's a fun track. So.
All right, the debut of Lines and Lust right here on the Tony Jones Show, on tap for you. You can tell everybody that you heard it here first on the Tony Jones Show. Here's a little Lines and Lust.
Right
And that feeds my favorite 1031 song right here on the Tony Jones Show. Before that, you heard the debut of Lines and Lust, and with that, we are just about out of time. I want to thank you guys again. I have a second half, a page of notes here of stuff I want to talk to you about. So I hope you'll come back very, very soon. And don't forget that these guys will be at the Rhode Island Free Radio Show this Thursday at Alchemy with my good friends November Party, Wolfman Chuck, and Shore City. George Garner, I want to thank you as always.
My pleasure as always.
Just a blast. You know, it's been a good show when my cheeks literally hurt from laughing all night. So thank you guys again, and I hope you'll be back real soon. Now, if you haven't got enough Tony Jones and you haven't got enough R.J. Gregory, we will be at Paracon in just a few weeks' time. That's happening July 16th and 17th. The Assembly Theater in Burrville. Andrea Perrin, who lived in the Conjuring House, will be there. The folks from TAPS. The Gettysburg Ghost Hunters, our own Chuckles the Clown, all run by Ken DaCosta, who's going to be in studio with us in just 1 week's time, and all to benefit a great domestic violence charity who these guys just raise thousands and thousands of dollars each and every year, just doing something they love. You know, we talked about it. We lamented that playing live music is just an excuse to do what you love. These guys, they do the same thing. They do what they love, but they connect it with just a great local charity, and it's just a blast to be there all weekend. And if you are a Conjuring fan, you want to talk to Andrea Perrin about the real story of the Conjuring House versus the film, and also what she has on tap. And she's like the most interesting person to talk to. You know, I'm a little, and George, I know we talk about this all the time, I'm a little bit of a skeptic on the paranormal side of things. I just like to learn about it and hear about it. Right. And she's telling me a story about how they're in the Conjuring House and they're walking through, and in the dining room is a family, and the family's looking at them scared, and in that reality, in that parallel universe, they were the ghosts, and the family was the one that was scared. And as she's telling me that story, man, literally, I'm a grown-ass man, and it literally made the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. You know, it's like turning the lights on in the house, and like I'm a grown man, and I'm afraid of the dark because of the story that Andrea Perrin told me. I'm afraid I'm going to see a family looking in at me. So
that real house is beautiful.
Yeah, it's a cool spot. Yeah, unfortunately, like they beg that you don't drive by it, and I've driven by it.
I just want to say one thing too. At Paracon, I'm going to be debuting my Doc Lantern Curiosities, just a collection that I've amassed, I guess is the word, over the years of all things related to paranormal, the occult, funeral supply, all kinds of stuff, historical newspapers, regarding to H.H. Holmes and Lizzie Borden. I have quite a collection of things, so I hope you come by and check it out. I'm very excited to display it. So,
and at Paracon, I'll be hanging around. So,
hopefully my tent, because I do need like a Sasquatch.
You need a beef squatch. All right, we got to get out of here. Thank you for tuning in to the Tony Jones Show. Facebook.com/Tony Jones Show, on the almighty Twitter at Tony Jones in RI. Go to TonyJones.org, RIFreeRadio.org. Click on the contact page. And Ken DaCosta in studio next week, talking all things Paracon. We're going to leave here with the lovely and talented Megan Casey. This track is A Girl Named Sin. You heard it here on The Tony Jones Show. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Devil's head, he said, well, I ain't never gonna be lonely again. I need me a partner, and I'll need her in red. She'll be the finest thing you see, and I'll be the only thing she believes. Fell in love everything you said. So what you need me to do, I will go on right ahead. Call me sin and I will be your girl. Well, I can never lose you, 'cause I'd be losing me too. I do the devil's work and I'll do it for free. As long as you can always love a girl like me. Call me sin and I've been waiting for you to tempt and desire. So it's just a brush of fire. Well, don't be scared. Fell in love with everything you said. So what you need me to do, I will go on right ahead. Call me sin and I will be all yours. Well, I can never lose you, 'cause I'll be losing me too. Well, I can never lose you, 'cause I'd be losing